Why do you want to make such an application? What inspired your ideas?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely bridging that gap between theory and practical learning, and making sure that we are creating educational resources that is accessible, adaptable, and really, understanding the way the next generation of students are learning is changing quickly, especially introducing different technologies. So my background's in dentistry and in education, so I understand the importance, especially from an educational point of view, and also as we are in the dental area, of how important it is to be able to include that interactivity and make sure that we're bridging that gap between that theory and practical. Because dentistry is such a practical academic area, it's making sure that gap is closed. So we at Immersify Education, we provide an advanced way of learning using interactive augmented reality and animations. We target all learning domains, offering audio, visual and written content in one application. And we also embed gamification and personalization. So we have a lot of different technologies within the application, but it works very well for the educational resources that we deliver.
Chloe, what's your opinion on how augmented reality and virtual reality will change the way we study? Because during the COVID-19, students must study remotely and cannot go to the university to have face-to-face classes. Besides, what impact do you think AR and VR will have on the dental industry?
Yeah, of course. I think AR and VR are, they're quite new technologies compared to many others that we've been working with. But I think they are amazing technologies in terms of being able to work or access content remotely. So I can speak very much for augmented reality because we've been working on it for quite a number of years now. And I first discovered augmented reality about 5-6 years ago. And for me, the first time I saw augmented reality, I knew this was going to be very helpful for education because we could interact with content in real life whenever you want and wherever you are. It is very, very good because with AR, you can use different devices and you can access it on your own device. So you don't need any hardware. So because you can just access the software. I think the most exciting thing with VR and AR is actually just XR. So I think the mix between VR and AR and the new AR solutions that Google are working on, and Apple are working on, and Microsoft are working on, the last couple of years it's been growing between 17 and 25% each year, but that's increased even more since the pandemic. So the areas are definitely growing, which is exciting to see.
Immersify Education has worked with a number of universities and has also partnered with the charity Mouth Cancer Foundation to provide tools to improve oral cancer and oral health. Can you tell us more about how the company has helped this organization? Which organization would the company like to work with further in the future?
Yeah, so we, especially during the pandemic, we've built a large community of dental students and dental professionals, and we work with them very, very closely. We really do listen to our community in terms of what they're looking for, what will help them learn, and we feel very privileged to be able to have so many good students involved in us growing and developing Immersify Education's resources. And with that, the partners that we work with, so for example, Mouth Cancer Foundation, it's not just about educating the patient. That is a big part of it through oral cancer, but it's actually educating students at a very young stage in their career to understand the importance of educating patients. So for us, it's making sure that from early on in students' learning, we're able to give this information in a concise, a digestible manner that they really understand the importance. And also, very much for us as a company, is making sure the content is standardized. Yeah, so for us, it's very much making sure that the partners we support have got a message to tell, and we want to tell that message in a correct, standardized way through different forms of multimedia, and making sure that it's as interactive as possible. We're always very open to different partnerships, because we really believe that partnerships, you help each other grow, and you also, I think it's a way of being able to connect with different communities throughout the world.
I'm also curious that did the pandemic bring some new ideas to optimize the application? Because during the pandemic, more students need to use this app to assist their study.
Yeah, so definitely we've built a sense of community. So I think the community aspects of sort of building awareness of what we're doing has been very, very, very valuable. Making sure that, the students that are using it and the universities that are using it, they're really understanding the sort of the ins and outs of the application, the features, why it's going to help. Because there's many apps out there, but we're not an app. We're in a form of an app, but we're a full comprehensive educational resource, so we can be used within curriculums. So I think it's just making sure that that we did that. And I think during the pandemic, there was a real need for remote learning. The remote resources were not as accessible. So I think that definitely need for interactive resources was key. And also making sure that the content's rich and it's comprehensive. A lot of the time people were searching for resources and searching for educational content online, or they had to pay, for example, e-learning books have increased by 500%. That's just not affordable for whether students or universities. So it's making sure that we're making sure that messaging is going out, that we are saving universities time and cost, and also helping students' grades and academic learning.
This app is quite interesting and easy to use. So do you have some plans to promote it in other countries? For example, China, my hometown. China has many technology companies that develop well, such as Alibaba, TikTok, Tencent. Many VC firms in China prefer to invest in startups, such as IDG Capital, CICC. Does the company have any further financing plans?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a startup scale-up company. We are in a very fast-growing. We're between actually three fast-growing markets. So for us as a company, we are continuing to fundraise. We'd love to promote this in China. I think there's we feel there's a huge opportunity to show and to support learning in many countries, and I think China it'd be fantastic to be able to promote this. Also with the funding, we are currently fundraising at the moment, so we're always keen to talk to interested parties who might be interested in discussing what our fundraising plans are. And if this is of interest, then please get in touch with me. That's absolutely fine.
So, if you take part in the summit, what topics do you want to make a speech?
Yeah, so I think I definitely talk about sort of how we combine different technologies to create one resource, and why we use these technologies. So the importance of the technologies, because I think, we do use, not just AR, but we use AI. So we use artificial intelligence. We also use gamification. So obviously building an algorithm for that, and personalization, which again needs AI. We do implement AI for that. So we have different technologies that are being used in one resource, and I suppose the data that we've collected and the research we've done, the many trials and pilots we've completed really highlight why these technologies work and how they're working, and how students, or should I say even human beings, because we have trialed on other professionals, are interacting with these different technologies for education. So I think it's something definitely from a data point of view, what I'd like to discuss, how we're supporting learning, and how this really is the future of education.